We call this a capitulation. Cancel all orders. Even Kramer doesn't know what to think. They're going to probably halt trading. We told you that we didn't want to see you get hooked. And you may be hooked. Look at that. Look at it.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Wednesday night, April 25th, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Stock Sumo.
Hey, what up, STT? Good evening, crew.
What's going on there, Sumo?
How's it going? I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm doing very well, too. Thank you very much. Also, joining us on the program tonight, we have Sifakia.
Aloha, STT, Sumo. How's it going, guys?
Mahalo.
Yes.
Mahalo. I learned Hawaiian over the weekend.
You're so good. Waikiki.
Waikiki? Is that Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
We
love Waikiki.
All right. As long as I know some. That's all I need to know. Also, joining me on the program tonight, I have Mr. Kopp.
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you?
Fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
Great. Absolutely fantastic.
That is absolutely wonderful to hear, sir. Now, special tonight, we are going to follow Mr. Kopp in his DD session. How are we doing that, you might ask? Well, we ask that you stay here and listen to the show, open up a new tab in your browser, and type in the following: stocktraderstalk.com/live-Sifi, C-I-F-I. And you can watch Sifi stream along live as we move around our stock spotlight tonight. Sifi, you got that all set up and ready to go, don't you? Sifi?
That's a yes.
Sifi? Oh,
what Kopp said.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Don't forget, catch the guys in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And, of course, the nightly show, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, we started off the week with a bang. Had two great CEO interviews. Tonight, we're going to change up the pace and go with a stock spotlight. This should be a fantastic one. Doing tonight's stock spotlight is Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
All right, gentlemen, how we doing? Good? All right, I got a good one for you. You guys are absolutely going to love this. You ready? The Visual Healthcare Corporation. Okay, it's VSHC. Now, all you listeners out there, I'm going to tell you one key trick that's going to help you in your trading in the future. If you go to that board on Investors Hub, as we normally do, VSHC, Victor Sierra Hotel Charlie, find going up dash again. Click on his name and just follow him. Okay? Just do it. Just trust me on that and just do it. Going up, hit us up, I'd say maybe a week and a half ago, and asked if we would look at this stock. It was real low. And, we called it from extremely low inner ringer from the very beginning on that, but it was his tip, so I'm not going to take credit for that. Bottom line is he found some very unique things, and to do what he did, he did some extraordinary due diligence. So I'm going to kind of give it to you in basic. All right. Bottom line is, what are we talking about? Visual Healthcare Corp. Visual Healthcare Corp is an information technology company that designs, creates, and develops state-of-the-art information platforms specifically conceived for the automation of a healthcare information management and the needed healthcare organizations. The company owns an extensive portfolio of proprietary technologies used in the field of medicine, hospital management, data security, healthcare infrastructure, Its licenses technology to operating companies in exchange for an equity stake or a royalty stream. It owns a significant stake in Visual Med Clinical Solutions Corp., a medical software company listed on both on the NASDQ and the Frankfurt exchanges. All right. Now that is a substantial thing to understand as we go through this. All right. So in essence, we're talking about two stocks. We're talking about VSHC, and we are also talking about, so just so you kind of will follow along here later on, VMCS. Okay, now VMCS is Visual Med, but we'll get to that a little later. So back to the Visual Healthcare Corporation. Normally, like we normally do, you jump through the I box, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Well, here, let me give you what it did today. Today, up 8.11%. Not a big day. Nice accumulation, nice trend up. Closed at 0.0040. The volume was 10 million. Now, the thing that's happening here is there's nobody pushing this yet to say what it is. This thing is in high accumulation mode is what's going on. You're seeing some of the bigger players that are out there. We've seen the Sky Gemstone, Mr. Wowza going up, Tefster, Wealth Money, Rise Up, Bruce, the stock guys there, Carnes, CJ, they're all running to this stock, okay? Now, in the very beginning, they're running to the stock. So you're getting a treat here that you're actually finding something that they're running to in the very beginning. All right. They have a website. That website is visualhealthcarecorp.com. Visualhealthcarecorp.com. Now, basically, you go through that. You can, run through it. It's pretty nice. Has a lot of different things with their strategic partners, and it's a lot of high-level different organizations, okay? Now, that comes into play later in a big way. Now, what's unique about this is there hasn't been a press release from this company in a while, okay? Latest news, I believe, was sometime in August, somewhere around there. But that's not the key thing I want you to know. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to jump to OTCmarkets.com, as we normally do. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. The OTCmarkets.com, you get there, type that in. I only had like 20 screens up, but not that one. How that's possible, I have no idea. All right, so once you're all there, VSHC, you're going to basically look up that company, and we're going to run through a couple of things there. All right, she is limited right now. All right, company information is where we're going to go first. All right, so company information. All right, basically what I kind of told you, the company's contact information is out of Reno, Nevada. A lot of their links, when you drive them all back, kind of go to the same address, same phone numbers. Phone number is 514-582-5220. That's 514-582-5220. And they got the website updated in there. All right. And the guy of concern that we're going to talk about is Gerald Dabb. Okay. The interesting part about Gerald Dabb is he is the chairman of this company, according to OTCmarkets.com. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. He's company director as a chairman. As far as company officer, he's the secretary, treasurer, and CEO. And secretary first on this. Normally in any searches, it will come up with the very first one. It won't come up with CEO. It's a very unique way to do this. And he's got a VP that's actually involved here as well. Shares outstanding, 541,344,000 as of September 30th, 2011. The float is 167,238,000 as of September 30th, 2011. The authorized shares is 550 million as of September 30th, 2011. And technically speaking, I guess the authorized shares is really 600 million because 50 million of that is preferred. But we'll kind of touch base on that a little later. All right, so I want to jump to the financials. Okay, so we'll jump to the financials, and what do we see? All right, the last things, one thing they do that's really neat that I like that this company does, they do an attorney letter with respect to current information every single time they file something. Pretty good. So before that, on January 15th, what you're seeing is the Q1 corrected. Now, you go back a little further where you have an annual report. All right. Now, that annual report is September 15th, 2011. So let's jump there. Now, what I prefer to do, and it's only because I'm not a big fan of electronics, when you're reviewing reports and filings and certain things like that, if you're doing it electronically, you're cutting off your ability to do about 30% of DD. So what I recommend, if you got a good printer and you got some cartridges, print it out. It will save you some time and all of that. So we're going to kind of run through this piece a little bit. We basically talked to the website. 54 pages of pure magic. All right, and I'm going to give it to you in the skinny. All right. So ticker is VSHC. There are page 5. There are 541,344,000 outstanding common shares as of June 30, 2011. Cuspid 928,439. Okay. Then you jump to in the same page. You're gonna. That's when it talks about the authorized share capital, 600 million shares consisting of 550 million shares of common stock, 50 million shares of preferred stock, set at a par value of 0.0001. The freely tradable float is the 152,238,288. Right. This is pretty much matches up. Okay. Now the total number of beneficiary shareholders for that side is 1. And that is Ithaca Scientific Ventures. All right. Total number of shareholders of record is 163 holders of record of our common stock, including deposit DTC. Now, the Ithaca Scientific Venture piece, I'm not sure if it's his wife or his ex-wife, but it's definitely somebody connected. One of those two. Take your pick. It's in that revenue, that avenue right there. Okay. On June 30, 2011, the closing price of the common stock reported OTC Bulletin was 0.01. As of June 30, 2011, there were a total of 541 million shares of common stock issued. Of these, 287,977,000 shares are restricted securities as defined by Rule 144. All right, now that is June, okay? So where does that put us? That puts us at about 9 months, right? You kind of do the math here a little bit. As of that time. Sorry, that's page 6. So we're sliding. Nothing really that you probably need to know on 7 and 8 or on 7. That's some good stuff just to know. But field of operation and corporate mission on page 8. They operate a health information technology company whose mission is to provide blueprints, tools, and platforms for the coming automation of healthcare in Western and developing countries. I will say that again. We operate a health information technology company whose mission is to provide blueprints, tools, and platforms for the coming automation of healthcare in Western developing countries. All right, go down a little further. We derive revenues from licensing rights that have been granting to other companies in the field, most notably Visual Med, Clinical Solutions Corp., and Plexo Inc. All right, so know that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to read with that, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to drive here. Okay, slide into page 9. Visual Healthcare Corp. is a 10% controller as defined by SC regulations of Visual Med Clinical Solutions Corp. Okay, so anything over 10%, we know it's over 10%. Now, when you dig down to it a little further, I'll kind of give you some amounts. It's someplace between 25 and 35% is what they own, and we'll get to that. Total amount that was spent, I'm on page 10. Total amount spent in the last 2 fiscal years on research and development activities related to our product line was approximately $1.6 million. Much of which was born out of our licenses, affiliates, and customers. A portion of this cost carried directly by the company was $633,000. Okay, so bottom of the page 10. We own and provide proprietary information technology platforms in the field of science, research, and connectivity, as well as healthcare and medicine. Those are all vital statements for somebody investing in this to understand. All right, page 11. Intellectual property and research and development. We are the sole owners of the intellectual property rights to all platforms, inference engines, software modules, and applications that we have designed and paid for over the years. Got that? Sole proprietary rights. Okay, page 12. You're going to love this. Marketing. Okay, good slide at the top. I'm at the top. We are also working with elements of the Italian and French healthcare authorities and health services industry with regard to the potential implementation of our system over a broad range of hospitals, clinics, and pharmacies in those countries. All right, so you're seeing the gist that's actually being performed here. Rolling to page 13. Okay, keep sliding. 15, I'm going to get you to the juice. All right, 17. You're staying with me there, Siffy? I know you're all over it. I'm going to page 20. Okay, page 20, very top. As of 2011, the only person that owns in excess of 10% of the common stock of this company is Ithaca Scientific Ventures, Inc. CEO Gerald Dabb owns 6,845,877 common shares of the corporation. Okay, that's where he's got a lot of his cash flow. Okay, bottom of page 21. One of our directors, Louis J. Lombardo. Now, this is in disclosures and related party transactions. Kind of important to know this. One of our directors, Louis Lombardo, is a member of Rutherford Marketing, LLC. Under a marketing agreement between the company and Rutherford, Rutherford earns commissions on the sales of the Visual Med products. Rutherford did not earn any commissions from the company during fiscal year 2011. Okay? Did not happen. However, know that potential exists there. All right, sliding again, page 23. All right, a couple items. All right, page 25. What you're going to see here is a key fact on the financials. You're going to see a whole bunch of grids, bunch of numbers, and all that stuff. But what I want to show you is from June 30, 2011, end-year money, common shares at the beginning was 112,494,000. The change was 428 million shares. To make the new outstanding share structure, what I just discussed earlier, to become the 541. Okay? 541 million. That's where it happened. So 428 million shares came out. I've already given you the restricted so you can understand what that is. What I don't know is whether that's 6 months or a year. I would contemplate a year based off of the fact that nothing really happened on the December January time frame. Okay. Now, bottom of page 27 of 54, in the fine print for the company history. In our portfolio, we still hold shares and options representing close to 35% of the equity in Visual Med Clinical Solutions Corp. All right? So I'm going to the low end and being conservative by saying 25, and they're saying up to 35, close to. If you want to say 35, if you want to say 34, do what you will. But that is, right there on page 27 at the bottom, and it's in the very fine print. Get glasses. All right, slide in number 29. Keep going. We're flying through it. Okay. Then you start getting into the promissory notes payable for payable on demand purposes, rendered, the whole 9 yards. Okay, slide into page 35. All right, on October 1st, 2006, July 2009 exclusively, it's royalty equal to 3% of company gross revenues for equal quarter and due to the following quarter. So it gives you a couple of loans payable and certain things that they're doing. They had a bunch of stuff out there where they had some debt. It runs all the way from page 37 to 38. Now, this is the tricky part. On the bottom of page 38, you'll have 2011 transactions, the year 2011. Now, this is going to you're going to kind of look at some things here. During fiscal quarter 2, the company issued 428,850,000 shares to settle $414,000 in outstanding debt. Okay, so let's do that one more time. 428,850,000 to settle $414,000 in outstanding debt. If you do that math, that is 0.0096. 0.0096. That's what somebody was willing to do to give up cash in a time where it's difficult to give cash. Now, there's going to be a couple of twists with that because I'm going to give you a COA 1, COA 2, course of action, course of different way, different options, if you will. So remember that tidbit. 0.0096 is what they got that for. Okay, so I'm sliding all the way through. I'm on page 43. All right, jumping to 45. Okay, as of June 30, 2011, the only person that owns an excess of 5% of the common stock of the company is Ithaca Scientific Ventures, Inc. Now, this is a psychology company. I went deep into in where they were. So if you want the address, it's 4211 STE, Catherine O. Westmount, QC H3Z 1P6, which controls 230 million shares of the company. And another person where I don't know if it's a soccer player or if when you look in Montreal, Quebec, there's probably 15 to 16 of Giuseppe Gentili, who controls 34 million shares. I didn't go through the bother figuring it out, but I will if I need to. I'll find exactly who that guy is. Bottom line, he owns 34 million shares. Okay, marketing strategy. Visual Healthcare has emerged from the global financial crisis in the past year, increasing its revenues by 2/3, while undertaking strong measures to reduce the debt, okay, which we proved. They basically just had their debt, they sold shares to pay off their debt, and they cleaned that up. Now, my question number 2 to that is, why would they do that? So that's out in the air right now. The market has rewarded us with long validation of our technology platforms. Our assets have increased significantly, largely due to the value of our portfolio of technology holdings, including our holdings in Visual Med Clinical Solutions Corp., with whom we continue to work closely in developing opportunities for our complementary products and services. Now, what will end up happening from this point, you get your marketing segmentation and analysis regarding Obamacare and what's actually happening with it in Congress and all the practical terms that they plan to do. And they plan to be right at the cusp of gathering a lot of that. All right, jumping to page 47. All right, at the very bottom, it's after all of that news-related market, sectors, industry, all that. These are some of the driving forces that explain in part the turnaround of our operations and our recent successes. Our revenues are up more than 66%, with most of the gains obtained in the last quarter, and we expect a similar exceptional growth rate for the next exercise. We have emerged from the recession as a leaner company, one that has taken full advantage of new public policy to finally make money from our uniquely advanced technology and science businesses. All right, so you get the whole deal. Now, the twist. All right, that's the annual report. The twist is this. Now, if you go back to OTC Markets in the financial section, you're going to see right there on November 15th, 2011, Q1. Now, the quarterly report, you pop out the quarterly report when it's filed, November 15th, 2011, and I'm not going to go page by page by there, but I'm going to take you to one page. And by the way, this takes an hour, so this is good stuff. All right, that one page is page 23. Now, page 23 of 32 of the quarterly report is essentially exactly the same page that I kind of discussed earlier with the 2011 where the shares were issued for the debt. Ironically, it is missing now. I don't know why. Okay? Missing, right? Because normally most people only look at a couple in the back and look at that. I don't know why that is, but know that that's there. I consider it a good thing, right? I know most of you probably sit and think, how could it possibly be that 428 million shares that you're saying that is out there, of which a gigantic chunk of them are restricted, are what it is? Okay, here's why. All right, you jump over. I just gave you all the financials. I'm not going to run down any more of those financials or the insider stuff. I think we're pretty clear on where I'm driving with that. Okay, so next thing. I'm going to jump over to, okay, just give me 1 second. Work with me here. Visual Med, okay. All right, if you go to the different aspects that we're doing here, okay, 2 things. I'm going to take you one post because you just got to know it. Post number 8736 on VSHC. It's just a mailbox. Typically for companies, it's by Autopov. Gives the address for 3041 Cedar Avenue, Montreal, Quebec. Interesting, the same address as Ithaca Scientific Ventures. Something to know. Okay, next thing. You slide a little further down. Okay, some interesting info. All right. Now, when you go to that, I really want to dive in this Ithaca Scientific Ventures thing because I don't know if the ex-wife got part of the companies and they split 2 companies, but the bottom line is Gerald's dad is on both companies in the power seat, in the grooves section. So I don't know if there was a divorce or if there's something to where, mutually, whatever the case may be, the debt was cleaned up in VSHC. Okay? So when you sit there and you go to my next post I want to run to is January 18th, post number 8743. And it goes into Ithaca Scientific Ventures, talks about the business number, so you're able to do a lot of research to dive down to that. I'm not taking the time to do that, but if you go to the Candidate Companies landofthefree.com, you'll be able to figure out all kinds of cool stuff. Neat. All right, next thing. All right, I'm sliding on the entity details, Secretary of State, Nevada. Okay, the entity details, Secretary of State of Nevada, Visual Health Corp. You'll see a couple of things where the list of the officers were due 1/31/2011, business license, and a couple other things. So there's There's a few things hanging out here, and I don't know why you would clean up a company and start slowly doing exactly what's happening. But all the big boys are running to it, and they're slowly loading it. Make no mistake of that. Okay, Visual Med, jumping again. I know you're probably having a hard time keeping up with me, so one day I'll just let you take over the computer, and we'll just have a good time. All right, now, Visual Med. Now, why do I care about this? Get this. All of a sudden, Visual Med comes into play with a website. Okay, that website is definiteimage.com/Visual Med New. Now, what does that normally mean? Normally means it's not done, or the fact that you're not supposed to see it yet. However, it's out there, and you'll be able to see it. Now, when you go to that, okay, and it is definite, DEFINITE, image.com/Visual Med New. All right. Now, they're building a bunch of things on here. They got their Twitter. They've only posted twice, which one's a big one, and one was a hello to it. So we've already gone down the Twitter path and went down the LinkedIn path and Facebook path. Some things there, but nothing of major interest. All right. Now, the news. Visual Med joins partners for community-based care transition program. Teams with Maryland Center at Bowie State University in Teleform. That news came out on April 19, 2012. Pink Sheets BMCS. Frankfurt VA6F announces it has formed a further partnership with the Maryland Center at Bowie State University, Inc. and Inteleform, market leaders in healthcare information and communications, to develop a community-based care transition program called a CCTP of the state of Maryland. Okay, I'm going to kind of leave that alone. Big news, big stuff. Now, what does that stock trade at? Oh, let's go with 0.01. Now, if you look at the trade volume that's actually happened there, in the course of, and you go through their financials, which I did, you'll see that back in the day, their share structure has changed. So what did they do? I don't know, but I know this. The number of shares authorized is 325 million. Number of shares outstanding is 277 million. Freely tradable shares in the float is 104 million, okay? But when you sit there and you look from the year before, it looks like 100 million shares over the course of last year has come out. And to do that at a 0.01 stock, you're able to sell stock, get a lot of money, pay the debt off of the other company that you're trying to clean up, and clean the whole thing in preparation to have enough liquidity in two stocks to be able to do certain things. And I am not saying that that's what happened. I'm speculating that if I was a business owner and I was involved in both companies, I had significant interest and significant amount of my money tied up, you're damn right I'm going to do what I can do to clean that way I need to, especially what's getting ready to happen. All right, now, that's the stage. The stage basically says that interest is coming back to stocks out of the blue, which normally means to me of some form of insiders of when you start negotiations, when you start those certain steps to where you're going to be doing something, things just happen. All of a sudden interest starts happening and those type of things, and this stock's coming from the bottom. So what can you do? You can load the living crap out of it, right? Don't think for a second that these companies don't have corporate accounts or their friends, families, brothers, where the 7-Eleven clerk does not buy something if he has an idea that they can make a lot of money from it and then hold it for the long term. You're damn right they do. So now you got run through that website. It's good stuff. They got all the links. And if you go through the key thing, I will tell you one thing about that website on the links. Their partners are Omnitech Labs, Intuitive, Future of Clinical Data Capture, and you can go deep into this. They're in a bunch of different hospitals, Southwest Regional Rehabilitation Center in Battle Creek, Kansas Surgery and Recovery Center in Wichita, Kansas, and a Leapfrog Group. A lot of it's old, but a lot of it's new, so you'll be able to figure out what's going on there. Okay, I'm jumping again. Now, the center where I told you about the Center Day Psychology, if you want to talk about it, that address 4211 Rue St. Catherine O. It's about $500,000 to $1 million type of property, so you'll be able to look at different stuff there. Okay, next one. Visual. I'm going to give you a post. Now this one's going to be a little tricky. I'm going to jump to the VMSC board because it's kind of important to understand this. All right, hold on. Wait a minute, I'm going to wait on that. Going up, go to this post. Post 9603. Okay, now what Going Up basically is saying here, I wonder if something like this is in the works, buyout, okay, which basically he's diving into different options from speculation from a buyout standpoint. Now, the big boys, where he talks about second link, all right? So we're going to jump to Bowie State. Siffy, you got it? Okay, throw up Bowie State University link. Okay, now the Bowie State University link, this is their link. On April 11th, 2012, their link, okay, from Cassandra Robinson, Director of University Relations. You ready for this? Because this is going to kind of blow you away. Maryland Center at Bowie State University partners with industry to create National Emergency Preparedness and Response Research Center, Bowie, Maryland. The Maryland Center at Bowie State University recently formed a partnership with 3 market leaders in healthcare information and communication to develop a national research center that will apply the latest technologies in managing healthcare information to enhance national capabilities to respond to domestic threats, including natural disasters, pandemics, and man-made catastrophes. The Maryland Center, an affiliated foundation of University System of Maryland, has as its charter to eliminate disparities, including those in health, and simultaneously enhance research and development on behalf of Bowie State University. Its new public-private partnership with Visual Med Clinical Solutions Corp., Bingo, IntelliForm, and Verizon Communications, right? That's who they're linking the name with. Those 3, Visual Med and Verizon, in the same damn sentence, will create the National Emergency Preparedness and Response, which is called NEPR, Research Center. Does anybody have any idea how freaking big that is? That's called Homeland Security linked up with NEPR, where they're going to build this entire thing. So what is it? It's a research center. This initiative is designed to respond to recommendations from public and private leaders for research centers to develop surveillance and response capabilities that coalesce with national efforts to prepare for emergency threats. The NEPR Research Center is to be housed by the Maryland Center on the campus of Bowie State University, will assist federal, state, and private sector leaders in developing protocols, methodology to enhance the ongoing efforts in preparing and responding to national emergencies. The center will offer deployable systems developed by joint capabilities of the private parties. This is the right time and the right place for this kind of project, stated Mickey L. Burnham, president of Boise. With the creation of the NEPR Research Center, we are taking a significant step towards our vision of creating an innovative public-private economic development partnership that is beneficial to BSU, the state of Maryland, and our great nation. And it goes through the whole damn thing, goes through the different pieces of it. Now, I ask you, how the hell did Visual Health Corporation, Inc., and VMSC land this? Well, they land it because they have the proprietary rights to the technology of what they're using. All right, if you look at the CEO and the different board members of both these companies, they're intertwined. Now, most of the time in the OTC world, some companies will have what you call a lead and a back, right? But clearly there's dividing pieces of this. And I believe the dividing pieces of this are the private investor side of it, as well as the different aspects of what they do. So if you sit there and you look at what's happening here, is the story is absolute freaking phenomenal. People are buying it, or Gerald sold stock from the higher stock, right? Because it kind of makes sense. Paid off all the debt to clean it all up, right? Holds the shares, issues them out for the $414,000 worth of debt to pay it all off, and then clean certain pieces of it. And I mean, you do the math. I would load the living crap out of it too if it was me, right? And whoever the insiders are, who knows? For this thing to move, based off that, it's not a lot of volume, right? If you count up the volume and go to DD Amanda, let's jump there. You got that one, Sif?
I'm trying to keep up with you.
I'm sorry, man. I'll slow
No, you're rocking, man. The visual is just part of it. The audio is all good. Keep going, man. You're on.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to jump to DD Amanda. Okay, now, the thing about it, I don't think a lot of people had DD Amanda, but we do. So I'm not really sure what to say about that. Get it. Hold on 1 second so I can help you here. All right, we're jumping there. Okay, so DD Amanda, All right, basically what we're going to do is we're going to pull up VSHC in DD Amanda. All right, so up it comes. I know you can't see this, but I'm going to tell you what's going on here. Okay, very, very low volume over time. I'm going to pull you all the way back until the stock was trading at the 0.0005. Now, this has been going on for a while, where there might only be $1,000 worth of volume come into the stock in late December, maybe $2,000 in late December. Okay, on the January time frame, $3,000, $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, and then some days zero, absolutely zero, trading in between 0.0005 and 0.0006. Cheap, super cheap. Well, here's the unique thing about it. You go to March 6th, and everything before that, maybe for the 2 months before that, maybe 5 million shares traded completely from that time range. So if you jump to the 6th of March and the 7th of March, there's 6 million traded and 3 million traded. Yep, $7,000 worth of volume. Big deal. Okay, it goes up 100%, then it gets a drop of 11%, and then all of a sudden on March 21st, I love this, the 100,000 shares are traded. It pops 80% on $90. Okay, you do the math. They're trying, everyone in the brother, you can see the dips of this as it's going through. They're trying to get shares, and they're not able to get it, so they got to keep creeping the price up, and finally got to start getting to the ask. All right, so what do you get? On April 2nd, $3,000 runs. On April 3rd, $10,000 hits the stock, right? That's more than the whole month beforehand. Then on the 4th, $3,000, the 5th, $2,000, then on the 9th, $6,000, then on the 10th, $6,000. But what's the volume of that? So we got 11, we got 12, 13, 17, 26, 29, $30,000 over the course of 1 week. And what do you get? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 million shares that were actually traded. So it pops from 0.0009 up to 0.0026 and lags in there. The low volume pops it down very little, and then what you end up having is up 8%, up 21%, down 38%. Everyone trying to jockey for shares. Then on the 17th of April, only 3,500. You get that dip where it comes start running down, and SIPI will run that chart for you. But it trades between the range of 8 to 13. And and you can tell by looking at what's happening, looking at the tape, they're trying to get shares. That's what's happening here. All right. So on the 19th and the 20th, $1,000. Then on the 20th, $4,000. Then on the 23rd, all of a sudden, $10,000 comes into the stock again. Only the second time, really only the first time. The other one was 9,744,000. Point being, on the 23rd, you get $10,000. 4 million shares trade. Now it's trading between 18 and 28. The following day, on the 24th, yesterday, $24,000, almost $25,000 comes to the stock. Get a nice candle, and what is it? Only 7,896,000. Trading range 26 to 37. So this is what you get for percentage gain increases from the time this bottom was called. And yes, thank you to going up. He got us in there and hooked us up. 25% up. Following day, 10% up. Following day, 64% up. Following day, 50% up. Following day, 37% up. Yes, it's going up. However, nobody's got damn shares because they wouldn't sell them. So what do you get today? So now today, what do you get? You get 10 million shares starting to trade. Now it's increasing in what's going on, and you got a staircase going up to where now it's up another 8%, hanging at the 40. And you're seeing this jockey mechanism that's going on by all the players. Is it real? Is it not real? And trying to get as many shares as they possibly can. That's what's happening from a trading perspective. Now, run the chart there, Sif.
Okay, 1 second here, and we will get that chart up. I just got to switch it over here. That's good stuff, Cop. I lost you on the financials is where I lost you. I was looking on OTC, and I just couldn't find it. So,
what are you getting into short in stocks over there?
Well, I mean, the hard part about that, Sif, is the fact that I went through 150 pages worth of stuff on the financials. There's no way that we could do that screen-wise. That would hurt everybody's eyes anyway.
I couldn't even find the first page, Cop. But hey, I got the chart up, man.
There you go.
That off. So we're going to start with my beloved weekly chart, because you know how I love those weeklies. And you can see this price per share here, that 0005. Boy, that was a nice quad city takeoff there. You've got your price per share up through that 50 MA, which is at 0028, and it's crossed through that 200 MA at 0026. And, of course, we're through that 20 at 0013. So, you know, one of the things that I love is when you've got all your moving averages below you. So you got support, support, support. Of course, that volume, like talked about, huge, just massive, especially with the higher price per share. To see that volume come in, that's nice. I definitely want to see this thing hold above those moving averages. You can see what happened back in the past when she couldn't hold them back at the beginning of 2011 in March, April, May. So we want to get above those, and we want to hold them. You can see on your RSI, you've got that nice divergence that was going on. You got up through that 50, then it came down and tested it, held it, and it's back up to 63.21. That PPO looking solid. It came off the bottom, crossed over, and it's trying to get positive through the histogram. The histograms already are positive, up at 20.84. Cracking, the PPO is at negative 3.09, so just barely negative. That slow stow looking good. It's up through that 50. We always like to see that. You can see back in October, November, when it couldn't get through that 50 or that 20 MA, she took a whole nother leg down. So that's positive. Let's go ahead and look at that daily. Okay, as for the daily, there's that golden cross, Sumo. April, you got that 20 crossing into 50. This is why you got to look at the longer-term charts, guys. Don't get caught up in that little 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, the last emailer you got. So, 20 through the 50 in April, kaboom. She runs up through that 200, hit that 0032, comes back down, couldn't hold that 200 MA, came all the way down to that quad city again at quad 8, and she's back off to the races. This time she is through the 200. She's held it for 3 sessions already, so looking good. I like that they dipped her today, and there was buyers that pick it up. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of where you just got your volume staircase. And the only thing I don't like about, talking about staircases is staircase up, elevator down. But that's another story. Your RSI is 70.30. It's looking solid. I want to see that cross up above that into the 80s, 90s. Some people call that overbought. I call that power zone. PPO, it's looking sweet. It crossed up. It's heading up north again at 26.73. And your slow stow, it is definitely nice and strong, 89.35. So at least you like, just like on the weekly, you got that 200 MA 0021. You've got that 20 MA at 0018, and you've got that 50 at 0012. So lots of supports to look at. You've also got that last swing high of 0032, which we just went through like a hot knife through butter. That's what I call a breakout.
I agree. Good stuff, man. But that's VSHC in a nutshell.
That was a nutshell?
Wow.
Hey, that was a little lot in the beginning with the financials, throwing a whole bunch of it out there. But I think to get the whole picture, to understand it, you got to have all those pieces. And you know what? Another good thing to read. Just I don't know if anybody saw that, but their certificate of amendments. They did a lot of filings to do their articles of incorporation, get all that stuff in there. That wasn't too long ago. They actually put that in there July 15, 2011, and it's got everything in there. And it talks about the how they got to the $600 million, the whole 9 yards, and and you can actually see their bylaws, the identification, the whole 9 yards. I mean, so they're cleaning that thing up. I think going up's right, man. I think they're cleaning the crap out of that to sell it. It's what it looks like. Why not just continue to dilute it? I mean, why not? Why pay the debt if you got another company? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not your OTC script. So clearly he has some visions to put assets in both of them. I don't understand the intricacies of the proprietary software and where the royalties go. I don't have the business plan to be able to figure out exactly what sections or what pieces of the revenue fall into visual med and what actually falls into visual health. But you can kind of get an idea. But to clean that up, that's telling me somebody's trying to sell that.
Right. Well, if you think we missed anything and would like to call into the show, the phone number is 347-215-7181. If you think you need to add something to our stock spotlight tonight, Mr. Kopp, great job again. Siffy, working on it. Work in progress. Beta testing. Good stuff. Mr. Sumo, you guys ready?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. I'll keep an eye on the switchboard, see if anybody calls in. Let's take a look at what was hot on iHub today. Sumo and Sifikia, take it away.
All right. Well, most of you out there that have listened to the shows before, when we run through this top 10 on iHub, there's no particular order. We just go off of what's buzzing on the buzz cloud and whatever's green and had a good day and decent volume and so on. So with that said, I'll just jump right into today's action. ATYG is the first one up. Siffy, be ready to do the charts after I run through what the stock did on the day. ATYG was up 21% on the day, closed at 0028, which is the high a day. Previously closed at 0023. The daily range was 002 to 0028, and it was on relatively average volume. The 3-month average is 17.2 million, and it traded 15.4 million today. AUMY, I'm going to let Siffy do the chart. ATYG.
Trying to throw me off there, huh, Sumo?
Sorry about that.
No problem. I was going to look at a weekly, but let's go ahead and look at some dailies here on ATYG. You can see this thing there that crosses again. Just can't get away from it. 20 through the 50 back in February, kaboom. And she's been rocking ever since. You can put a line on the bottom there, the 003, 0004, 0009. And you can just lay that on there, and you got your nice little channel. You got that 0025, 0063 at the top. Drop a line on them. You got the top of your channel. I believe we've looked at this one before. This looks very familiar. And she did, I think, exactly what we talked about. You got the consolidation. She never broke below that 002. It looks like she's trying to find the support, get back above that 20 MA at that 0026. And see if she can retest that 0042. RSI looking solid. Never broke below that 50 RSI at 54.76 now, headed north. PPO still positive. Slow still looks like it's trying to come off the bottom and turn back up and head north. So chart still looks solid. It's got I like that 50 MA 0018 and all those last swing highs 0025. A lot of support below you to refer back to.
Good deal. Okay, next one up is AUMY, Apple under Mary Yankee, closed up 23.88% at 0083. The daily range was between 0052 and 0095. The volume today was 30 million shares, and the 3-month average on that is 4.4 million. All these figures are taken right from OTCmarkets.com, so you can go to either OTCmarkets.com and pinksheets.com and pull these same figures. Siffy, go ahead and run with the chart.
All right, you can see this has had some issues getting through that 200 MA, which is currently at 0.010. It got above it briefly at 0.012 yesterday, and then pulled back. Today, you can see she took a nice dipped all the way below that 20 and the 50, only to be bottoming up, so that's positive. I like the big volume you've seen come in today, greater than the last couple of days, and it was buy volume, so that's good. But you want to get it through this 200 MA, or at least not drop below that 50 or the 20. I want to see that. You can see that she hasn't been able to get above that 20 or the 50 since she broke below it back at the beginning of 2012. So, and also you can see right around December 2011 when she tried to get through that 200 MA, tried for a while and couldn't do it. She laid down. So keep your eye on that. The RSI is above the 50, found support, so that shows that there was strength there. There was people to buy that support. The PPO is crossing up through the positive, so that looks good. And that slow stow is also still above 50, which we like to see. So, main thing, you got support below you, risk reward accordingly.
Okay, next one up, another one that finished at the high of day. It's EMWW. Eddie Michael Walter closed at 005, up 108% on the day. Previously closed at 0024. It had a gap up today. The daily range was between 0034 and 005 on 3.3 million in volume. The 3-month average is 955,000 shares. Run with it.
Good stuff, man. I mean, you definitely can't take away that volume. That's looking solid. All the indicators, the slow stow, the PPO, the RSI, they've all crossed. They're heading up. I mean, the chart looks great. The indicators look good. I do want to see it get above that 005 and hold above it. You can see that was the last swing high. You got that 0.012 to look at. I want to see that 20 get up through that 50. You can see she hasn't done that for a while. And that price per share, it's got to hold it, because you see back in December of 2011 when she didn't hold it, she went straight down. So you got that 200 at 0.015. Keep your eyes on that if you can get that 20 through that 50 with some authority. And looking good, man. I can see why it was on the top 10.
Okay, the next three that I'm going to run through, we're going to try to bang these out quick, are D symbols, one of which we caught way back when it was 0001. Haas caught it on the news pre-market. That's DUTV, Denver Under Tango Victory. It closed up 114% today at 0.0015, 152 million in volume, and it's caveat emptor status. So buyer beware there.
Attack of the zombie stock. You can see this thing's just been asleep at the wheel for the longest, and boom, she comes back to life. I'm sure Haas had a good reason for it. We'll have to ask him in the morning. Yeah, this is a tough one to read. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles to basically go off of. So it's a tough one. You can see that quad 6 was bought up. So that's a hard one to pull the trigger on, but somebody did. Now you got that 0.0022 to refer to. That was your swing high, and also you got that candle that was right after it. You got that 20 MA at quad 5, that 200 quad 2, and 50 at quad 3. 44.44 on the slow stow. That's my favorite number. So that's the best thing I like about this chart, Sumo.
All righty then. Next one up. Another caveat emptor status is DTTO, Denver Tango Oscar. It had a daily range of 013 to 038. It closed at 022. That's up 98% on 2 million in volume.
That's a beast. We've been on this one for a while. Some of the boys on the board dropped in last night, and they were throwing it around, and you know who you are. And basically, I took one look at this chart, and I could tell it was a winner. I didn't know it was going to run as hard as it did today. I mean, almost hitting 4 cents, but that was a beast. I mean, I liked the chart yesterday just because of the volume that came in on it. Well, look at the volume again today. So I don't know what's happening here, but the money was pounding into it, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's on my watch list. That RSI is up at 88.30. It can run up in that overbought territory for a while. That PPO is scooping straight up. The only thing that's aiming down on this whole thing is that slow stow, and it's crossed through. So keep your eye on that. You got all those moving averages below you. You've got use the last swing highs of the last daily candles, or you can even take it tighter and use your 60-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute. Watch the candles and play it accordingly.
Okay, last up for the Big Daddy D stocks is DYNV, Dynamic Ventures Corp. Closed at 14.5 cents, up 11.5%. The daily range was from 12.28 to 15 cents. The volume was 563,000. Average volume 87,000.
All right. Well, this one is very powerful looking chart you got going on here. So what I'm going to do, since it's the last one, is I want to look at a weekly, because we were looking at dailies on all those, and I actually, personally, I can get a better read on a stock when I look at that weekly. So let's look at it, because this one, like I said, it's got power. And there you go. You look at that weekly and look what she's done. She was basically trading sideways, consolidating for the last year, basically, from August or April 2011 till basically now, in that 00 or that 0.03 all the way up to 0.09. So she finally broke out. You see that 20 getting ready to cross up through that 50, which is at 0.658. And 2 days in a row or 2 weeks in a row of massive volume stacking on top, and a perfect example of when you can use that last candle. And, you know, anybody that doesn't realize it, you know, whether it be 1 minute, 5 minute, daily, or weekly, that's what that candle represents. When you look at weekly, each one of those candles, it represents a week in time. So you look at the last week's candle, we held that high, closing high of that candle, found the support, and have broken out past that swing high on last week's candle. So looking good. Got all the supports below you, and that's what you want. So nice chart, DYNV. That's my favorite one you gave me tonight, man.
All right, next one is HRDN.
Oh, one more, huh?
DC Brands International. It closed up 25% on $37 million in volume. The 3-month average is $12 million in volume. It closed at 002. The daily range was 0017 to 0028. That's HRDN.
Nice little bottom play, it looks like here. This one isn't going up. This is the first one we looked at tonight, where those moving averages are on top of it, which means you might be getting on the bottom floor. You saw that quad 5. Let's see it get through that 20 MA at quad 3, and then you got that last swing high at 0.0124. So got some things to look at on this one before it really gets going. I personally, I mean, obviously I'm not a financial advisor, but me, I'd rather buy on strength and when it's breaking through resistances, and I sell resistances until they're broken. But anyways, solid looking chart.
All right, last one. We got the McRib is back. That's MRIB, Marani Brands. We called it on Sunday night's show. It was as low as 06, and today it was as high as 0012. It closed at 001 on $59 million in volume.
Nice, man. McRib, good stuff. Well, you can see that she hasn't had a lot of luck getting through that 20 MA, and definitely not through the 50, going way back. So looking solid. She poked her head above the 20 the other day, held. Today she poked her head above that 50, held. Now we want to see that 20 come through that 50, get ourselves a golden cross. RSI is looking solid, 54.38. Slow stow, positive divergence, heading north. We want to see that get positive. The histogram already is. I'm in the slow stows looking, looking like we want it to be. Pointing up, crossing up, heading towards 50. It's at 35.29. You've got yourself some resistance. 18, 28, 38, 54. Got those supports at quad 3, quad 5, and that last candle. So enjoy.
All right, I'm gonna cut it short so STT can close it out. We're not gonna finish the last two.
Thank you for listening to Stock
Everybody,
Traders
good luck
Talk
in the market
Radio.
tomorrow.
All views
See you
and
tomorrow
topics
night.
talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.